Hello there. My name is Princess, but you can call me Big Sis. Um, I am coming to you today with a question from one of my male friends. And the question is, why is it that people, especially women, so afraid to be alone? Um, this is kind of hard for me to respond to because I am a person who has that opposite problem. But in my opinion, I think people are afraid to be alone sometimes because of how they feel about themselves. Um, I think sometimes people think that they will never find anyone better than who they have, or I would even go to say that they don't feel like they're worth more because if you are afraid of yourself, that time with yourself, being alone, then I'm gonna assume that you aren't happy with you. So yeah, I think people are afraid of that stuff they might find out about themselves in that time with themselves. And I actually went through that back in like my early 20s. I kind of like would go from I actually talked to multiple guys at one time. And I just was like, you know what? Why am I doing this? Like, I thought it was that I get bored easy. That wasn't the case. It was just that I didn't want the time to deal with me. I was going through some changes, after I graduated from college, and life was just interesting. It was different. And I just didn't want to deal with it. So I gave a bunch of time to dating. And then I found out that wasn't for me. I I didn't like the headache of it. So after that, I was in relationships. Then I took time to be alone. And I'm kind of afraid to be with someone. So, yeah, I like my freedom. I like being able to make my choices when I want to. And my past relationships, they had their ups and downs, but they weren't what I would want for the rest of my life. So I just been like, I'm not sure if I want this. Um, so yeah, this question was kind of hard for me because of that, because I prefer to be by myself, and I kind of have a fear of being with someone long term. Um, and yes, I have 3 kids, but the weirdest thing is I have never cohabitated. So I ended up getting pregnant from boyfriends, just not living with them. Um, So yeah, I don't know what it feels like to live with someone. So my mindset on being able to be alone, I really can't relate to that. But going off of that, the biggest thing is like I think people need to take time for themselves. And I have been teaching my daughter, like, it's okay to be selfish. But then I selfish with your life, selfish with your time, because you're going to be grown for the rest of your life. So and you'll have a whole lot of responsibilities of things you need to take care of. So when it comes to that time for yourself, it's very precious. Um, so that's what I'm teaching her right now. But her biggest thing is, Mom, I mean, what do you mean be selfish? When I'm selfish, she took it in a mindset, because she tried it, and she took it in a mindset of I was telling her to only think about herself. And I think that's a problem that a lot, oh, here go me with this bang again. I think that's the problem that a lot of us take the wrong way. When someone says be selfish, and when I'm saying be selfish, I mean have self-preservation. Make sure that you are preserving the best of yourself and having self-esteem. Like, think highly of yourself, feel highly of yourself, take care of yourself, self-reassurance. There's and not worrying about your self-image. Like, your image, that comes with everything else being healthy. That comes with you really identifying with who you are and loving every part of it. So, yeah, so I'm teaching my daughter, like, to make sure that you know you. Make sure that you are content in every part of your life that you want. Make sure that you're happy with it, with you, before you add anyone else. I encourage her to live her life before she dates seriously and like try to get married. I encourage her to get her education and find out exactly what she wants in her life. And I always encourage her that guys will fit in. You be for sure with what you want and who you are, and everything else fits in. But I think that means that you have to be alone and recognize your life, unless you knew as a kid. And I guess my thing is with this selfish topic, if you are not taking care of yourself, if you are not doing everything to make sure that you are okay, then what is your point? You can't do nothing for nobody if you ain't good. I know it seems like I'm jumping around with this topic, and I think they tie together a lot. You know what? I gotta revisit something. The being alone. I have a lot of people I know who used to jump from like relationship to relationship. And I used to think that, like, what are they afraid of? Like, why you can't be by yourself? And honestly, with them, I'm not even sure if it was that they didn't like themselves. I just didn't get it. I just know for me, when I was doing that stuff, I was having problems with me. This is the best I can do with this topic. Basically because I don't understand it thoroughly. I'm one of them people who need to be open to someone coming in my world. That's what I challenge. I have to remember that it is okay to let someone in. So if you have that challenge, because I'm sure someone else is like this. If you have that challenge, just prepare yourself. Make sure that you are good, and the right person is going to come along. Who knows? The right person may already be there. You just can't see them. Okay. I'm going to come back to you with a second part to the questions that my guy friend had. All right. Take care. Peace.